Hey everyone, Yash here from Super Workday. In this video, I will be showing you how to use the app Google Calendar Sync to sync any of your Google Calendars to your Monday boards. As you all know, currently, Monday.com's native integration for Google Calendar does not allow any other calendar apart from your primary or default calendar. But we all have many other calendars like our team calendar or a company calendar when we are in a work setting. This app aims to solve that pain point. So from the installation page, you have to just install the app like this. Once you have installed it, you can add it to your board view by going to this plus button here and selecting the app Google Calendar Sync. But before that, here I have my demo setup. I have columns for item name, start date time, end date time, description, event status, event link, and an extra status column. Going back to the app, when the app opens for the first time, it asks you for the required permission to be able to connect with your Google Calendar. So to initiate the flow, press this button, authorize the app. Here you will have to select the Google account which is associated with your desired Google Calendar. Now for the app to work properly, you have to select both these permissions. So I am pressing select all and then continue. So once your account is connected successfully, you can now close this window and refresh the browser as shown here. Now you can see the connection setup page. So this Google account is already added. If you want, you can add other accounts as well. Now from the calendar list, you can select which calendar you want to link to this board. So here in my Google Calendar, I have 4 calendars. One is my primary calendar, another is a team calendar. Then I have shared calendars as well, appointment and company calendar. So I will select a company calendar for this demo. Now you need to map calendar event fields to the board columns. I want the event title to map to my item name, then the start time of the event to map to this column start date time, similarly for end time. Now coming to the optional fields, we can map description to a text field. Then this field event status. This is special in the sense this can only be synced one way from your calendar to your Monday board, and it can have values like confirmed or cancelled. So I'm selecting this status column that I have created, event status for this, and then you can select a column to add the event link to. And then this is a setting that you can also configure to keep your event item sync until 1 month after event end. So this essentially helps you control how many events are in sync at a time. So let me create the connection now. So once your connection has been created successfully, you will see these buttons on the screen. Edit allows you to edit the mapping, but it does not allow you to change the calendar or Google account. For that, you will have to delete the existing connection and then you can change these values as well. Also, there is this big button about managing integrations. If you go onto this page, you can select the rules governing your integration. The first two rules here: when an item is created in board, create linked event in calendar, and when item column value changes, sync changes to linked calendar event. These two establish a one-way sync from Monday to your Google Calendar. Similarly, the next two rules: when event is created in calendar, create linked item in board, and when event field values changes, sync changes to linked board item. These establish a one-way sync from your calendar to your Monday board. Now, if you want a one-way sync, you can configure either these two options or these two options, depending on either you want to sync from Monday to calendar or calendar to Monday. But if you want a full two-way sync, you have to select all the 4 options. And then whenever you make a change, you will have to save changes. By default, all these 4 are selected, so you don't have to do anything. So now that we have configured everything, let's see things in action. So let me create an item here. Let me call it meeting from board. Now that this has been created, we can see that in our Google Calendar created here, by default it creates a 30 minutes meeting in the next half an hour slot it gets. So in my case it's like 10 to 10:30, and it also fills in the value over here, like your start date time has been filled to 10 p.m. and then your end time to 10:30, and also event status has been set to confirmed, and your event link is also there. So if you press this event link, it will directly open the page for your event like this. So let me close this tab. Now, if I make changes to this from the board, so let me just change the name to something like, let me add test and then add a description here. Let's say description test, and let me also change the timing here from like 10:30. Let me make it to say 11 p.m. and then in the start I can change it to let's say 8 p.m. Now I've changed the fields here, and let me go to my calendar. So you see the fields have been changed as per the settings that I configured there. From 8 to 11 p.m. the label has changed to meeting from board test, and the description has also been added. Now if I change things from here, let me just move it somewhere else. Let me move it to let's say 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 1st of May. And let me also change some things here. Let's say I change the name to something like this, and description, let me just make the description empty, and let's save the changes. And now that I have changed the things here, they should sync back in the board. So here the start date time has changed to 1 May 11 a.m. and similarly for end time, and then description has become empty and the item name has also changed correctly. Now let me create an event in the calendar first. So let me select the company calendar. So let me call it meeting from calendar and save. Now this should have been created as an item in my board. So here you have it, meeting from calendar from 2nd of May 1 p.m. to 2nd of May 2 p.m. just like we have here, and event link has also been added. So if you want to make changes to this, you can make the changes from here. Let's say you add a test description or change the name as well and press save. Your changes will get synced here, like name and test description. And if you want to make changes from here, you can also do that. Let me just change the time and make the test description just test, and see this and wait for a second, maybe refresh the screen once, and these have changed. Your description has changed as well as your end time has moved to 5 p.m. Now if you delete any of these events, let's say I delete this one, your event status will change to cancelled here. You see, this has changed to cancelled. So that's why we have event status, to show whether the event is cancelled or confirmed. Now, as per current configured integration rules, whenever a new item is created, it will create an event in calendar. But sometimes you might not want, so we have an option to create event only on status change. So let's configure that. So you go back to the app, then you go to manage integration, then you deselect the first rule and select the 5th rule here. So when status column, select the status column. So this is the extra status column that we had. Changes to value, let me select done in this case. So when status changes to done, create event in calendar. So now instead of creating event on every item creation, it will create an event only when status column changes. So let me save the changes and then get back. Let's go here and create an item, meeting from status. Now item has been created, but if you check in the calendar, no event has been created here yet. Now if I set a time, let's say this, and let me have it 11 a.m. and then let me add a description as well, status. Now even now there is no event here, but now when I change the status to done, then you will see an event appearing here. Here it is. Isn't that great? Okay, now in this board I have linked my company calendar, but to show you the real power of this app, let me also link my team calendar in my other board. So here I have my other board with the same columns. Let me set up a connection here by choosing the team calendar instead. So here I choose my team calendar, and then mapping I can keep same, and then create connection. Now here if I create items, let's see, team meeting, and go to my calendar here. So, and if I enable my team calendar, you will see this team meeting has been created here. And now if I create an event in my team calendar from the calendar, say sprint planning, you will see this coming here. So now you have two boards synced to two different calendars. This one is synced to your company calendar, this one is synced to your team calendar, and you can see both of them in different color codes in your combined view. So this makes organizing event and collaborating with your team much more easy. So I hope that you are able to understand how this app works, and that's it for this demo for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Lastly, I want to thank you very much for trying our app. I really appreciate it, and I hope it helps you in your workflows and make you more productive. Thanks a lot. Bye everyone.